So you must be first wondering why there was no class yesterday and day before. Well, there is a small clash in the timetable. The time which has been fixed for my classes for management science on Wednesdays and Thursdays, at that time I have a clash with the MBA timetable. I have already reported that to the madam, and she will make the required adjustments. So hopefully after that is done, the classes can be run smoothly. So last time when I spoke to you, I was giving you an overview of the syllabus. I had given you an overview of the unit 1 already earlier, and in the previous class I was talking to you about the overview of the second unit. If I remember correctly, I told you that in the second unit we have the following topics: capacity planning, sequencing, and maintenance management. Up to this point I have completed in the previous class. Now to complete the overview of this unit, I am going to talk to you about the concept of work study. Now what is work study? In operations management, the work is done in two ways. One, that part of the work which is done by the machine, and second, that part of the work which is done by the human worker. Right now, our industry has not yet gone to the stage where the robots can work totally independently without any human guidance, without any human interaction. We have not yet progressed to that stage. We are still developing. Hopefully that day will come, maybe within your lifetime that day will come. The whole factory will work purely independently by the robots, and robots will be very autonomous. They'll be able to do everything without consulting any human being. That time has not yet come. So right now what happens is the total work which is done in industry is consisting of two parts. One, that part of the work which is done by the machine, and second, that part of the work which is done by the human operator. So we'll take an example. Suppose we are talking of let us say some drilling work. You have to make some holes in a plate at certain distances. So in the beginning of the job, the worker comes, he puts the plate on the jig, he marks the places where the holes are to be made, and programs the machine, and then after that he starts the machine. Now his setting up of the machine might have taken say 5 minutes. Then when he starts the machine starts working on its own and maybe works for another 7 minutes, and the job is completed. Then after that the worker again comes into the picture. He has to again work for maybe about 1 minute to take out the part, inspect it, and send it further. So what did you notice in this example of mine? The work starts with the human work, then the machine takes over, and after that again the man comes back and does something. So total work is consisting of two parts: the human element of the work and the machine element of the work. Now let's see how much time is needed for the human element and the machine element. As far as the machine element is concerned, the time required for the machine element of the work depends only on technical factors. These technical factors are the speed of the machine, the feed of the machine, and the rate at which the machine is doing the job or cutting the metal or something like that. And remember that for the same job, the machine will take exactly the same amount of time today, tomorrow, day after, and forever till there is a change in the design of the part. So as far as the machine element of the work is concerned, there is no confusion at all. The machine is very consistent. The machine doesn't change the time required for doing the job from instant to instant, from day to day, from week to week. It's very constant, very consistent, and you can work on that basis. If you have done the work once on that machine, you know exactly how much time it's going to take, and then the same amount of time is taken each and every time. It's very easy to manage that. Now look at the human element of the work. Human element of the work, today it took 5 minutes. Tomorrow there is no guarantee that it will take same 5 minutes. Tomorrow it can take less, or tomorrow it can take more time. Why does it happen? It happens due to a variety of factors. Here is an example. Suppose I am the boss and I have a worker. Just imagine you are the worker and I have given you some job. The job could be maybe some data entry or maybe doing some graphics on a file or something like that. First day, when I gave you that job, you were able to do it in 30 minutes. Next day, you reported for duty again. I gave you the same job to do again, maybe with a different file or something. And I expect that you will do it in 30 days, 30 minutes. But today, you don't take 30 minutes. You are in an excellent mood. You had a great breakfast. So you are very happy. You will do the job within 25 minutes. Day after tomorrow, again you report for duty. Again, I give you the same kind of job. But today, your mood is very bad. Before you started for work, your mom fired you that your choice of clothes is awful. This is not how girls should dress. And then on the top of that, while you were coming to the college, you had a small fight with your boyfriend and there was a messy breakup. So now, when you have reached the work spot, you are in a terrible mood. So terrible, in fact, that if somebody talks to you, you would like to punch his nose and make it bleed. In this condition, I give you the same job, which yesterday you did in 25 minutes and day before yesterday in 30 minutes. Today, how much time do you think you will take? You will take forever for this. You won't be able to complete it in 30 minutes. You will need maybe several hours for that because you are in a very, very bad mood. So, the time required for human element of the work is always uncertain. It can take 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and we are never sure. The manager is never sure how much time is needed. Dear students, this makes planning very difficult because planning requires a good estimate of the time. No planning is complete without time planning. See, we have several resources in a factory. Manpower is one resource, materials are another resource, machines are a resource. But the most important resource is time. Time is something which just flies by. If you lose it once, you can never get it back. So, time is a very important resource for us. And here, the human element of the work is causing uncertainty in the time itself. We are never sure how much time is needed for doing the job. So, how do we overcome this problem? As I told you a short while ago, this problem doesn't arise for machine element of the work. Machines are very consistent. Machines are not affected by moods. They are not affected by uh, small sicknesses. They are not affected by the weather. They are not affected by bad news. But human beings are affected by everything. A small fight can spoil your mood. Bad weather can spoil your mood. A little problem with the stomach can spoil your mood. So we need to have some reliable method by which we can estimate how much time is required for doing the job, the human element. This is the concept of work study. So when we say work study, we are trying to find out how much time is required for human element of the work. Remember, work study is never, never, never done for machine element of the work. That doesn't require a work study. That is certain. That is very easy. Just once, if you test it, you know how much time is necessary. You don't need to do any more analysis after that. But human element of the work requires great analysis, and that is what we call work study. So I hope you understand this concept now. Work study doesn't study the entire work. It studies only the human element of the work, because uncertainty is only in the human element. It is not in the machine element. Now in work study, there are various techniques. In fact, look at the screen. The screen itself says the concept. Concept is what I gave you just now. And after concept, there are various techniques. And these techniques fall into two categories. Look, read the last line on the screen. The two categories of techniques are methods analysis and work measurement. Methods analysis and work measurement. Now, I am giving you the concept of each of these. What is the concept of methods analysis? And after that, what is the concept of work measurement? First, concentrate on methods analysis. Methods analysis is also called method study. So both the words are same. Whether a book writes about method study or method analysis, the content will be same. Method study or method analysis looks at the method applied for doing the job. Because as you will know from your own experience, if the method itself is correct, your work can be done more efficiently, much faster. But if the method which you employ is not right, then howsoever efficient your operator may be, it will still take more time. So before we can do any other study, we have to study the method itself. Now the reality of operations management or the reality of factory working is that any job, each and every job can be done by multiple methods. For doing everything, there are always more than one method available. We'll start with an example. In your room, wherever you are sitting right now, there is a tube light. In the center of the room, on the ceiling, there is a tube light, and on the wall in front of you, there are switches. Every day, when you come to the room, you press the switch, the tube light starts glowing. Up to that, it's okay. One day, you press the switch, but the tube light doesn't work. Now you need to do something. You call a electrician. The electrician comes and starts the diagnostics. Last time I told you, no maintenance, no repair can be done without first diagnosing the fault. So the electrician will also start with diagnosis. He will check whether the fluorescent lamp bulb is okay. He finds it is okay. Then he checks the choke. The choke is okay. Yes, he found the choke is also okay. Then he opens the ceiling rose. He checks both the connections, the phase as well as the neutral. Finds both the connections are also okay. What does he do next? He takes out his electric tester and he checks whether the phase is coming there. Now here he found that the phase is not reaching the ceiling rose. Even when the switch is on, the phase current doesn't reach the ceiling rose. This means in the wire which is there from the switch to the ceiling rose, there is a discontinuity. That wire has to be changed. Now, from this up to this time, it was diagnosis. Now he has to start the actual operation. There are at least two methods. One, the first method is he pulls out the phase wire. So he puts it on the floor. Then he measures the length. He finds that the length is 5.5 meters. He takes another wire, cuts it to the same length, 5.5 meters. Now, with a metal wire, he tries to push this electric wire in the same conduit pipe. It will take something like 15 minutes. He will be able to do it, no problem. After 15 minutes, one end of the wire is available near the switch. The second end of the wire is available near the ceiling rose. He will make the connections. He will switch on the switch again and the tube light will start glowing. His job is over. He will take the money and go away. In all this, he has spent almost half an hour. 15 minutes for diagnosis and 15 minutes for repair. This repair, this could have been done much faster if he had followed a slightly different method. Instead of taking out the earlier wire, laying it on the floor, measuring its length, and then cutting a new wire with the same length, if he had tied the new wire to the old wire at the ceiling rose and pulled it from the switch end, the correct length would have gone inside automatically. Metal wire not required for pushing it. Then he could have cut the new wire near the switch, made the connections. Had he followed this method, he would have been able to complete the job not in 15 minutes but in only 5 minutes. What is the moral of this small story? The moral is any job can be done in multiple ways, and each of these methods is different in terms of efficiency and different in terms of time required for doing the job. So, wherever we have to do a work, before you jump and try to find out how much is the time required, you must try to find out whether the method which is being followed, whether that is correct or not. This applies to not just a repair work. On the screen you are seeing a technician who is repairing something. Here methods are important. The methods are also important in a production scenario. When you are making a new product, there also methods play a very important role. So the first part of method study, the first part of work study is method analysis. So you must analyze here what are the different methods available. Say we have three possibilities, A, B and C. You have to compare these methods. Compare on what? A, on cost. What is the cost of the first method? Second method? Third method? Second, compare them on quality. Which method gives the best accuracy, best finish, best appearance, best aesthetics? A, B or C? Third, which method takes how much time? A takes 5 minutes, B takes 15 minutes, C takes 20 minutes. So, if you consider only from the time angle, the 5 minutes method, that is A, should be selected. So, this kind of study, this kind of analysis is called method study or method analysis. I hope the concept is understood by you. So, for method analysis, there will be several methods now. There will be several steps for doing method study. Those steps I am not talking right now. Those techniques I am not describing right now. Today, I am giving you an overview only, and today I will be only talking from the conceptual angle. So this is the concept of method analysis. Next, we move on to work measurement. What is work measurement? First, get the concept right. Work measurement is measuring the quantum of work that can be carried out in unit time. I am repeating, measuring the quantum of work which can be carried out in unit time. Examples. We are talking of a mason. The mason is a bricklayer who makes walls. So he keeps the bricks in a line. He covers the bricks with mortar. Mortar is that mixture of sand, cement, and water in a particular proportion. That's called mortar. So he covers the lower layer of bricks with mortar. On that he keeps the next layer of bricks, then the next layer of bricks, and goes on putting mortar between every two layers. At the end of the day, till 6 p.m., how many square feet of wall he has constructed? So if I measure the square feet of wall constructed during 8 hours, this is work measurement. Here my unit of time is 8 hours or one shift, and I have calculated how much is the quantum of work done in that unit time. One more example. You are in a bank. In a bank, in the cash department, we have kept one person whose job is to take the bundles of currency notes, put them in the note counting machine, and check all the bundles one by one. Because when the bundles come from RBI, although they are supposed to be correct in number, but the bank can't take a risk. They will check each bundle once. Similarly, when they are sending some currency, huge currency, to some other bank or to RBI, they have to again check it before sending. So this is the person there whose job is to use the note counting machine and put each bundle inside, see the reading on the display. If it is correct, he approves the bundle goes further. If there is a mistake, the bundle reads as 101 or 102 or 98, then the bundle is again opened and one or two notes are either taken out or added. So let's say here my unit of time is one hour. So I would like to measure in 1 hour how many bundles can be verified. So depending on the method which is being used by the worker, I may find that there are three methods available: A, B, and C. Using method A, I am able to check 100 bundles in an hour, B 120, C 140. So what I have done just now is work measurement. This is the concept. Measuring the amount of work which can be done in one unit of time. Now, dear students, I have given you two concepts just now: method study and work measurement. Now, I am going to make a very important statement. Register it very carefully in your mind. Method study and work measurement have to be always used together. One without the other is of no use. If you do only method study but don't follow it up with work measurement, how will you know which method is faster, which is slower? Suppose you do only work measurement but don't do the method study, then after the work measurement is recorded and you have standardized the time required for doing the work, the workers or their supervisor may change the method. So your work measurement exercise goes waste, isn't it? That's why method study and work measurement are never done in isolation. You will never do any one of these. Wherever we apply these concepts, both these things have to be done together. And together they form the concept of work study. Just as there are various techniques for methods analysis, similarly, there are various techniques for work measurement also. There are at least 5 different techniques available to us for work measurement. The most popular of these is time study. Time study. Time study is one of the techniques of work measurement which is the most popular in most of the industries where work study is carried out. Time study is the most popular one which is used most often. So if you come across an industry which says that I am right now doing method work measurement, maybe 60% chance is there that the technique being used by them is time study. There are many other techniques also. Like one more technique is synthesis from elemental data. One more is predetermined motion time study. One more is analytical estimating, and so on. So those techniques I will describe when we actually come to the topic, because each of these techniques requires one full class or at least half a class session. So I am not getting into that part right now. Therefore, those techniques and their working will be described in later classes. Before I move on from this unit, I would like to also tell you one more thing. This whole subject of work study, method study or method analysis, and work measurement, they are part of a bigger discipline. That bigger discipline is called industrial engineering. In industrial engineering, we have other things also. Like, suppose we are talking of industrial engineering, in that uh, cost control also comes, cost reduction also comes, value engineering also comes. So work study plus a few more subjects, they form the subject of industrial engineering. And industrial engineering, as you must be knowing, is one of the electives in MBA programs in some universities and in PGDM programs in some universities. There is one institute in Mumbai which is totally dedicated to industrial engineering. That is called NITI, NITIE. NITI stands for National Institute for Training in Industrial Engineering. They give PGDM programs only in industrial engineering. So in that PGDM, work study will be a very big part of the entire course. Maybe out of 24 papers, 6 or 12 will be dedicated to work study only. So work studies fits in there in the operations management and in industrial engineering. With this, I have completed the overview of your unit 2. Now, let's move on to the next unit. The next unit is Unit 3 in Management Science, Purchase and Stores Management. Now, if you are wondering how purchase and stores is coming into the subject of operations management or management science, well, I think that needs to be clarified first. Look, in operations management, I already explained to you that we make goods and services, right? For making these goods and services, we need some materials. Without materials, no product can be made. Without materials, no service can be rendered. Even services cannot be rendered without materials. A hospital cannot cure its patients if it doesn't have medicines, if it doesn't have surgical dressings, injection needles. So, materials are necessary whether you are making a product or a service. Where do these materials come from? These materials have to be purchased from elsewhere. We'll start with an example of RG Kedia College. In Kedia College, we sell a service. The service is education. You are our customers. You pay the fees and you buy the service of education. By undergoing education for 6 semesters, you get a graduation degree BBA. So you are the customers, we are the service providers. But for doing this service, we need lot of materials, stationery, computers, laptops, printers, books for the library, mic for taking an online class, and so on. So materials are necessary even in a service scenario. These materials are not made by RG Kedia College. Similarly, all the materials which are required by an organization, they are not all made by the same organization. They are all made by others. And we have to buy them from those sources. If an organization like Air India, it is in need of tires, don't expect that Air India will manufacture its own tires. It's not possible. Their core competency is air transport, management of travel, management of cargo, not making of tires. Na? So they have to buy the tires outside. That is why in each and every organization, purchasing is required. Purchasing is required. Purchasing is necessary in each and every organization. Listen, even if you are a government organization, even if you are a charitable organization, think of the Telangana Police Department. Even there will be a department dealing with purchasing, because even police department has to buy jeeps, cars, SUVs, uniforms, computers, and lot of electronic equipment, because nowadays we have cyber crimes also. So even in a department like police, you will have a department called purchase management. Similarly, in a school, in a college, in a non-government organization, in an NGO, in a charitable organization, purchase management is one of the functions. Whether they have a dedicated manager for purchase management or not, that is not the question. But there will be somebody in that organization who handles purchase management. In RG for example, RG College, we don't have a designation like purchase manager. No, we don't have. But the function, yes, it exists. We have a joint director, Sri Ramachandramurthy. He handles the purchase management function in RG College. So, whether the designation of purchase management exists or not in an organization is just a matter of minor detail. But what is always going to be there, that the purchase function will be there. Now you are all management students. There is a good possibility, there is a good probability that when you join an organization, you can be given this responsibility. You can be asked to be the purchase person. It's possible. So that's what we are talking about in purchase management. The purchase management starts with, look at the next line, next word, sources of supply. What are the sources of supply of materials? Because before you can place an order, before you can ask your supplier to supply something, you have to know, who are the suppliers, who are the possible suppliers. Correct? So we'll start with an example. Let us say that I am thinking of buying an LCD projector, new LCD projector, which I want to fix in a large hall so that the PowerPoint presentations can be shown on a big screen to my students and they can see from a distance. And for that purpose, I need an LCD projector. So the responsibility for buying the projector has been given to that some concerned person. Now, what will be his first uh, first task? He has to identify the sources of supply for LCD projectors. So he has to know what he has to know who are the people who are making and selling LCD projectors. So he may find Sony is one. He may find LG is another. He may find Samsung is one more. And he may also find that within India also there are a few electronics companies who do this. So his first task will be identifying all the possible sources for supply of LCD projectors. Dear students, in every purchasing scenario, this is the task number one. How do you go about it? How do you do it? Well, you will say that it's very easy. Go to Google or Yahoo search or go to Bing search, type LCD projectors in the search box and you will get all the results. Yes, you will get the results. But these results are not going to be very useful for you. Why? You can try this. Go to google.com after the class and type in the search box LCD projectors. You will get about 50,000 results in less than a second. And out of the 50,000 results, the first 50 will be shown on your first screen. You can scroll down further, go to the second screen, third screen. Like that, there are going to be 1,000 screens. Now, tell me, will you have the patience and the time and the energy to go through 1,000 pages on your screen? Impossible. Nobody has got that much time, that much energy. And the second problem will be most of these results which you get, they will not be really very relevant for you. For example, the result at serial number 3 will say research paper published on design and development of LCD projectors. Now, is this what you are looking for? Definitely not. You are looking for a source of supply, not for a research paper which has been published in the past 6 months on the design and development of LCD projectors. It's not relevant for you. Next, right now you are thinking of buying an LCD projector, but there will be many results which talk about the people who provide servicing for LCD projectors. So after you buy, after it goes out of order, after it stops working, then those people will be useful. But today they are not going to be useful, right? Then there will also be some results which will say there are some sources who supply materials and components for making LCD projectors. Now your company is not going to make the LCD projector. Your college is not going to manufacture LCD projectors. Your job is to buy one and then use it in your classroom. So the sum and substance of what I am telling you is that a Google search or any search engine being used for locating the sources of supply of materials is a very inefficient and time consuming method. It appears to be very fast, but in reality you don't get much benefit out of that. So what should we do? Well, the answer is here. Now listen to the answer. Listen to the solution. Purchasing management is always done through software. Okay, small organizations like RGKDA, yes, they don't have any software for that. They use only MS Word for that. That's childish actually. But this is what small organizations do. But big organizations, the kind of organizations, where we would like you to work, when they do purchase management, they use sophisticated, specialized software for that. For example, in the state of Telangana, in the Secretariat, there is a purchase directorate whose job is to buy goods and services for the government of Telangana. They don't work with MS Word files and text files. No, they don't do that. They have a very good software running on their server where the tenders can be published, bids can be invited, orders can be released, the performance of the vendors can be monitored, e-payments can be released, history of an order can be seen. So that kind of sophisticated software is used in large sophisticated organizations. Our government of Telangana does that. Government of Andhra Pradesh also does that. In fact, both these were together. In fact, the same software was being used earlier. This was installed during the time of the chief ministership of Nara Chandrababu Naidu. And when the state was bifurcated a few years ago, the same server was divided into two partitions. In such cases, you don't have to physically shift the server. The server continues to be where it is, but the users are partitioned. So user 1 will be, say, Telangana state, second will be AP state. They will not be able to see each other's files. Their data remains separate, their orders remain separate, their vendors remain separate, and all that. So that was done. Now in these purchase management softwares, there is always a specialized module. That module is called sourcing. Got me? Sourcing. This sourcing module is not a simple search engine. The difference between search engine and sourcing module is that search engines basically work on HTML or at the most on DHTML. HTML is hypertext markup language. DHTML is dynamic HTML. They work on one of these two. But sourcing modules, which are there in purchase management software, they work on a different philosophy. That different philosophy is called KML, knowledge markup language. KML is a specialized form of XML. XML, as you know, is extensible markup language. A specialized form of XML is KML, knowledge markup language. In knowledge markup language, when you are searching for sources for, say, LCD projectors, you don't just type LCD projector in the search box. You will be taken to a dialog box. So that dialog box will ask you several questions. The first question will be, do you want to buy LCD projector or do you want to make LCD projectors? So you will tick, I want to buy. If you want to buy, would you prefer to buy from an indigenous source or from a global source? Because it's quite possible that there may be restrictions from the government that you have to buy certain items only from within India. In that case, you will say, I want to buy only from Indian sources. If there is no such restriction, you may say, okay, the globe is my market. The third will be, what is the size of the room in which you are going to fix it? Because if the size is very, very large, your projector has to be very large, the brightness has to be more, and so on. So you will specify what is the size of the hall. Next, it will be asked, what is the resolution? or the number of colors that you want to see. Like that, the dialog box will walk you through a large number of questions before giving you the results. But after all that, when it gives the results will be very few in number, and those results will be all totally suitable for your requirement. So this is the beauty of the sourcing module, which is a part of all purchase management softwares. Whichever purchase management software your company may be using later, it could be C3, it could be Wipro, it could be Hariba, doesn't matter. Every purchase management software will have a built-in sourcing module working on knowledge markup language, which is to be used for the sourcing of supplies. So today's class I am stopping here. If you have any questions, students, go ahead, unmute your mic and ask. If you want to give any comment, any clarification to your friends, that also you can give. Yeah, students, anything, anybody, anything?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Today's class is over. I am happy that we had 5 students today: Afreen, Ayesha, Vishwanath, Nausheen, and Sandeep. I hope you enjoyed the class. Okay, one more
Yes.
thing I want to tell you before I conclude. Yesterday and day before, I could not hold the class because the timetable is having some confusion. The time which is allotted to me for management science class on Wednesdays and Thursdays is clashing with another class of mine for MBA. So I have already told madam to resolve this contradiction, and as soon as that is done, then on Wednesdays and Thursdays also, I'll be able to take classes for you. Hopefully, it will be done within 2 or 3 days.
Okay,
I'm
sir.
concluding the class now. You may log out.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.